This is the next video about the 6 watt stereo audio amplifier. I finished the phono cartridge amplifier here, and here this capacitor, this circuit is the correction filter for phono cartridges. Of course it's stereo. Here is one and here's another one, preamplifier, and all the other entrances, inputs here are straight input, so straight characteristic from 20 Hz up to 20 kHz. When it works that way, of course, because the TDA 1519A, as far as I know, does not amplify to 20 kHz. I have to search that in the datasheet, but I'm not quite sure. This is the TDA 1519A audio amplifier. I've made it here on a piece of wood with brass nails. This is the power supply capacitor here. This is the output capacitor. I took quite a big one, 200 volts or so, 1000 microfarad. That always works good, and there is no risk that this capacitor stops after 5 years or so. And it's very simple for the rest. This chip is not sensitive to hay wiring, so it's a stable chip. I soldered here very thin copper wires with a 15 watt soldering iron, and that's all. This is the cooling device, the heatsink. It gets a little bit warm now, and it draws approximately now let's say 50 milliampere or so. I want to demonstrate now the how it sounds. I touch the inputs with my finger. So that's good. I've closed the inputs, both inputs, with a 27K potential resistor, because otherwise it's very sensitive. You can also hear how sensitive the circuit is. When I touch with my finger, I don't touch it, you can hear the hum already. But that will be no problem when all is finished. The amplifier will be shielded, and that's what I wanted to demonstrate now. You can hear a slight hum now. Very, very weak. And this is the output from one channel on the oscilloscope. This is the noise, and here you can see it bicycles a little bit around, a very tiny hum. But I've made a demonstration circuit with this piece of tin plate. When I put the tin plate over the amplifier, of course I've isolated it, the hum is totally gone. It's a very, very, very weak hum now. So the amplifier is already silent now, silent enough. And I'm gonna make that better. Finally, I'm gonna shield this amplifier at its top with tin plate. Of course isolated on the inner side, because I don't want to have shortcuts. This is the click that you hear. This is the heat sink, and here you can see that I left some space here under the board, and also here it's good visible, and I've done that to make some draft in the circuit. So I don't mount the heatsink very close to the bottom, because this will have a substantial effect on the cooling from the chip. And I also made here a small second heatsink. That's not strictly necessary, but okay. The earth wiring, another issue. I've already paid attention to it in earlier videos. This is the one and only earth wire going to the loudspeakers, goes here, in this case to the output capacitor, and then the output capacitor is on ground. That's a little bit strange with this chip. This is the output capacitor. Both channels are connected here, and there's only one output cap necessary. But okay, it's the way that this circuit was made, no problem. And here you see the earth wire, one and only goes here. This is again the earth wiring. The preamplifier still has to be connected to the earth wiring. And here is the only location, here, this location, where the wooden board is punched, is drilled, and on this back side there is connection from all the circuits here to the tin plate. This is the proper way to shield an audio amplifier when you don't have special bending machines to make a neat metal case. This is a good way to do that. And finally, when all is finished, I make a cover from also with metal, sheet metal on the inner side, and then I connect that case also to the earth wire or to the tin plate on the back side. I have to decide what gives the best effect. So that's something to decide later. Also this preamplifier, it was already tested, it worked.